Scottish football fans have had enough. It's about time that Neil Doncaster either resigns from the SPFL or is sacked because he is absolutely taking the mickey out of Scottish football. To put it very bluntly, this man is a wage thief. He's on over £422,000 a year at the SPFL. And what has he actually done to improve Scottish football that has made our product better for supporters, for our clubs, for everybody? And he has been in the gig since 2012, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history of Neil Doncaster on his Wikipedia page because he's that special apparently. But yeah, as you can tell, and I'm sure most of you fans are in the same boat as me, you do not like Neil Doncaster. So according to Wikipedia, Neil Doncaster was born in 1970, is an association football executive. He was appointed as chief executive of the Scottish Professional Football League in July 2012, having previously held the same position at Scottish Premier League from 2009 to 2012. And was at Norwich City from 2001 to 2009. But anyways, Korean football. Doncaster joined Norwich City in November 1997 as a company secretary and solicitor, and 2 years later he was promoted to head of operations before taking up the role as chief executive in 2001. During his time at Norwich, he took an active role in English football. From 2006, he was director of the Football League. In July 2008, he was elected to the Football Association Board as one of the two representatives for the Football League. As chief executive of Norwich City, Doncaster oversaw their promotion to the Premier League for the 2004-05 season. However, after the team's relegation from the Championship to League One in May 2009, he stepped down from his position. He was an absolute failure at Norwich City. And I remember Norwich being in League One at the time, and they were in a very, very dire position. So he stepped down from that job in the following months. He also left positions on the boards of the Football Association and the Football League. So this is where it, becomes interesting for Scottish football fans like myself. On 7th of July 2009, Doncaster was appointed Chief Executive of the Scottish Premier League. During his time at the SPL, Doncaster presided over the crisis that saw Rangers FC go into liquidation while restructuring the league. Those efforts were conducted in 2013 as the Scottish Premier League and the Scottish Football League were merged into a single league for all 42 professional clubs. The Scottish Football League was created on a one club, one vote basis with a pyramid structure allowing non-league clubs to compete for entry to the professional leagues and the redistribution of wealth in favour of the second tier. It also sought the return of playoffs between teams in the top two divisions of the Scottish Premiership and the Scottish Championship. On the 3rd of July 2013, it was confirmed that Doncaster had beaten David Longmuir to the position of Chief Executive of the newly formed Scottish Professional Football League. In the same year, Doncaster was elected to the board of European Professional Football Leagues. In the summer of 2015, Doncaster confirmed that the British bookmaker Ladbrokes would be the new sponsor of all Scottish Professional Football League competitions. Now, if I remember correctly, there was a big fiasco that took them forever to, get that sponsorship deal. And it was quite a bit of time that it took. The first sponsorship of the top tier Scottish football since Clydesdale Bank's deal ran out in 2013. Ladbrokes deal believed to be worth $2 million a year over 2 years. It's said to be the biggest ever of its kind in Scottish football. In 2018, Doncaster secured sponsorship and broadcasting deals for Scottish Professional Football League, announcing in January that Ladbrokes would be extending its title sponsorship until 2020, and in November making deals with Sky Sports, Premier Sports and the BBC, which was hailed as a major increase on our current contracts and the largest ever injection of broadcast investment since the SPL was founded over 20 years ago. In March 2018, Doncaster joined the board of Scottish Football Association, making him the first person to have sat on the boards of both English FA and Scottish FA. So he's not just running the SPFL, he's part of the SFA as well. Doncaster served on UEFA's legal committee between 2018 and 2020 and was appointed as a member of UEFA's control ethics and disciplinary body in June 2020. So essentially, he has been head of Scottish football since 2012, and that's pretty much over 13 years now. That TV deal is not amazing. Let's just be real. It's not fantastic. You know, we're not going to get English Premier League kind of money, but I think there's an argument that Scottish football has always been undersold. I don't think it was a really good TV deal, to be honest. I think, you know, let's be real, it's getting better with the Premier Sports, you know, showing different games, but, you know, Sky Sports are really only interested in Rangers and Celtic and a couple of the bigger games like the Edinburgh Derby and stuff. But even now and again, they don't even show the Edinburgh Derby. So, has it really been that good? You know, like, it's just been pretty underwhelming. What has he done in 13 years? That's the question I want to ask you that's watching this video. What has Neil Doncaster done for Scottish football in 13 years? So the big, obviously, thing that's came out in the last week or so is the league reconstruction proposals. And of course, Neil Doncaster, the dinosaur, has said that he wishes that it should be 10 teams in the top flight and not 12, not 14 and not 16 teams. I think I could speak for the vast majority of Scottish football fans. I would say 98% want a bigger league in the Scottish Premiership. We want 16 or 14 teams. We're not wanting to go back to 10 teams. It's bad enough as it is having to play the same teams 4 times a season. Maybe 6 times a season if you get them in the League Cup and the Scottish Cup. It's way too much. You know, I think the Old Firm Derby or the Edinburgh Derby and the Dundee Derby would be better if you only played twice a season, because it adds to the excitement of playing. You know, if you're a Dundee fan, you're playing Dundee United only home and away. If you're a Rangers or Celtic fan, you're playing each other home and away. Same with the Edinburgh Derby. And yeah, it just adds to the excitement. Now, if you had the teams in the Championship, the likes of Falkirk, Ayr United, Livingston, and then you could argue possibly like Partick Thistle or Raith Rovers, if you add them into the league, it just adds even more excitement because it's fresh teams. It's not playing the same teams 4 times a season. And it just, I think, improves the product of Scottish football. You know, people are complaining there's not enough youth players or Scotland under 21 internationals getting a chance. These teams could potentially field these under 21 internationals where the bigger clubs can loan them out so they're still playing at a really high level. And that is the big thing as well. If we want to improve Scottish football, you know, the kids need a chance. They need a chance, and they need to be playing at the highest level for their development. They can't be playing, you know, down in League One. There's nothing wrong with League One, but you want our young players playing at the top level, very young. I think for Doncaster to suggest going back down to 10 teams is almost a sackable offence. And I think most Scottish football fans would love to see him close the back door and get out of Scottish football. Like, nobody wants a 10-team league, and for him to suggest that, and it's good that the proposals will most likely get rejected. I don't think 11 out of the 12 teams which needs the vote will vote for it. However, I do see the possibility of league expansion. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we do get the league expansion. But definitely Neil Doncaster, it's time to go. It's time to get him out of Scottish football. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comments, and maybe there should be a petition if he doesn't resign or doesn't get sacked, that Doncaster has to go. I think it's about time we get some fresh faces in the SFA and the SPFL, because, you know, these people at the top are ruining the game. And, you know, it'd be just good to have teams from the Championship, which is a very good league in itself. You know, I think they would hold their own in the, you know, a 16-team Scottish Premiership. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you have, please consider subscribing and liking the video, as it'll help the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, there'll be more kind of videos like this maybe if you enjoy it. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and yeah, hopefully Doncaster won't be here in the next, you know, year or so.